Hello everybody, this is Zaibatsu Gaming, and today I'm doing a new series. This one is a series I've been dreading to do and also kind of happy to do because why not? So as you can tell, there is a lot of sports that I do, but mainly one of them is called the Zaibatsu Racing, which is the series where it is just racing with fantasy drivers in any kind of racing game like Forza. And there's also the Belmore Wrestling League, which takes place on WWE 2K19. However, we talk about the good drivers and the good wrestlers, but today we're talking about a good driver that started out very good and then ended terribly in racing, which ultimately almost ended his both racing and WWE career. However, he strongly came back this year. That driver we're talking about is Mason Harris. Mason Harris started his career back in 2012 of a wrestling company, and then he joined WWE in 2014, winning 5 Intercontinental Championships, becoming a household name in WWE. In 2017, he would get a call from the man himself, Ali Howard, to drive for Ali Howard Motorsports, which was a racing team in Blowpock and Modern GT Racing Cup. He would sign him to do 4 to 5 races in the Blowpock and GT Racing, driving his number one Golf 4 GT Racing. And here was his stats in 2017. 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 4 top 10s, 2 poles, an average finish of 15.1, and would finish second in the standings. He ended up winning Rookie of the Year in 2017. In 2018, he would be signed with Ali Howard again, doing a full season in the number 1 Golf Racing G4 GT. However, he would also do a part-time in the Australian V8 Supercars. However, this is when the start of the series started to become downhill lately. However, here's his 2018 stats at Blowpocken. 4 wins, 5 top 5s, 17 top 10s, 2 poles, an average finish of 13.1, and would finish 4th in the standings. After this impressive 2 seasons, he would move him all the way to the famous Blowpocken or the Le Mans prototype races, which was a series with the Le Mans prototypes. However, there would be an early crash in the early of his season, which would make him lose half of the season instantly. At the Le Mans circuit for the 24 hours, on the 5th hour remaining, he would get into an accident with former teammate Harry Deegan, who would basically cause him to both wreck and, well, bad things happen. He ended up hitting the tire barrier head on, and if that wasn't enough, he got slammed or T-boned driver's side first by a driver called Mike Ray, who would later become his rival in 2019. Which Mason Harris ended up suffering a broken elbow and a fractured skull, which he would miss 5 to 6 months of his races, which really sucked because Mason Harris was a good driver. Here's his 2019 stats. 2018? 2019. This is his 2019 stats for 2018 stats for the Blowpocken Championship for the GT. He's got 1 win, 6 top 5s, an average finish of 14.4, and was sitting 18th in the standings. After this, he would be let go from Ali Howard Racing to join the Valvoline Team Racing, which was not the best team, but not the greatest team. This is his 2018 stats for the V8 Supercars. 1 win, 6 top 5s, 18 top 10s, 4 poles, an average finish of 15.1, and would finish 15th in the standings. Not too bad for a first season. After this, he would join the impressive Australian team with former teammate Marcus Ambrose. However, this would be the turning point for the bad series, and this was what caused him to leave racing altogether. In one race at Daytona in the earliest stages of February, in around the 2-hour mark, Mason Harris would get into a terrifying accident where you will see why. He ended up getting spun out by Harry Deacon once again, which caused his car to do 4 barrel rolls on the catch fence, severely ripping the back off. If that wasn't enough, he also got T-boned once again, driver's side first, by none other than Ali Howard, who was his former teammate in the last 2 series. After this, he suffered a concussion, 2 broken vertebrae, and was paralyzed from the neck down. which he had to miss a total of 12 whole months, which would have been a full entire year, missing the entire 2019 season. His 2019 series was this: 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 1 top 10, and an average finish of 43rd. Despite having a terrible season, in 2020 he would move up to become one of the best drivers in the whole series. However, this is also when he started to have his drawbacks and some of his flashbacks of early accidents. In June 14th, 2020, at the Sebring World Cup for the Blowpocket GT racing, he got into a bad accident which caused him and another driver to have a serious accident, which also led to the fatal crash of 22-year-old Robin Dillon. Robin Dillon and Mason Harris were close friends in the Blowpocket racing, as well as Australian V8 Supercars, and the even new series that he joined, which was Can-Am. However, they both got into a crash, which, how it all started, here's how. Mason Harris was running in 4th place when suddenly there was a caution right in front of him. His car couldn't slow down and he slammed straight into Robbie Dillon's car. However, Robbie Dillon ended up getting slammed by another car which set the car on fire. And she ended up passing away in hospital just 2 hours later, which really sucked. If that wasn't enough, Mason Harris also suffered a broken rib and a broken ankle from this accident, which caused him to miss 2 weeks of the race. Which sucks, I guess. After this, the other race team, Valvoline Racing, ended up dropping him off, which means he was kicked out of the racing. However, another racing team would sign up with him, and this would be the final time in the 2021 series. But here's his 2020 stats: 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 0 top 10s, 1 pole, and an average finish of, you guessed it, 43 position. Which, great. But in 2021, just the beginning of his year, he would end up getting into a major accident, which would cause him to leave racing altogether and go back to WBE. So here's what happened. At the final race at the final winter race for Road Atlanta, it would become the biggest race of the century for some of the drivers that would be leaving. One of them was Mason Harris, but the other one that was leaving was George Hall. However, both George Hall and Mason Harris got into a terrifying accident at lap 2 of the race. George Hall's car did a blowover into the catch fence, and if that wasn't enough, Mason Harris ended up slamming right over the tire barrier and landing inside of a parking lot full of cars. He ended up suffering a serious concussion. He ended up having a seizure in the car and was bleeding from the head, ears, and nose. People thought he was dead, but he was actually alive. He was in a coma for 2 whole months up until March. After that, he got out of the hospital, and now he said he's putting his racing career behind, being a journeyman. As of today of March 7th, he is still doing WWE, but he has now looked back at racing and now thinks that WWE is his sport. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any more suggestions of what I should do, comment down below, and shout out to Konzak, because Mason Harris is one of Konzak's custom wrestlers, and he joined racing, and Mason Harris was a good guy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.